Hey
delivery.
Rob. Hey Rob. What kind of instructor are you? Like what is your what are you finding or what did you find was like this is my style. Like this is the who this is how I want to be with them.
I found myself, I didn't want to be like how we've seen people in the past just yelling, because
People
that's
still
no go.
people still do it.
Does that still happen?
It still happens.
No.
Oh yeah, I've seen it happen.
Yeah. But,
I've done it. I won't just, like when I came back, right? I think every year I got less and less angry.
yeah.
Every year I learned how to be more effective. I would say from like an emotional standpoint and like you said, delivering the information how you are
Yes.
has a massive impact on how everything is being received and therefore how effective the teaching is.
Well, I know when I was younger, right, finished marching, the type of instructor that I did not want to be like that. I was like, hey man, I'm a great player. You guys aren't as good as me. Does that make sense? Have you ever
Right.
seen that type of instructor?
Very ego driven.
Yes, yes. I did not want to be like that. And of course now, I mean, at the age I am, I'm not like the best player that I used to be back in the day. And then, I learned some stuff, the little bit of teaching that I've done since then, and then life experiences, work, you learn how to, and I call it managing personalities. You get to know each individual and talk to them on an individual level and know how to talk to them,
Yep. They're because they're people.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So, we had the Blue Coats have their 6 words, and the baseline, we had our 6 words. And I'm not going to say what they are because that's between the baseline and myself. But
Exactly.
every day, that would become kind of like the joking theme. And, we'd have some fun with that. I like to think we had some fun with that. And no, the guys were great. And like I said before, man, those guys could split up the hard stuff. They played no problem, but we would just have every once in a while we'd flub like the easy stuff, and it was just like interp, attacks, stuff like that, playing a little ahead of tempo. So just I mean nothing major.
Right.
Yeah, I mean watch the proof is in the pudding. Watch the videos, man. Those guys could drum.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but like okay, in subs, the thing I would work. Where other books and just base books in general now, everything's so split but these guys, Rarick would write some nice individual roles for each drum. And my thing is, dude, you guys have individual roles. You have that opportunity to sound nice and full. So I'd work like diddle quality and stuff like that.
Right.
I'd try at least,
Yeah.
My thing was, just try to accent that. So pull the sound out of the drum.
Well, you've talked about that before. So
Yeah.
you actually got to check some stuff off your list. Like
Yeah.
you actually got to be like, if I would love to see this. I would love to see this happen in a baseline, and
Yeah.
you actually got to be a part of making that happen.
Yeah. And like I said, in the Zoom stuff, watching John Lluvera work, it inspiring, man. That guy.
Hopefully, John, at some point, we'll get a chance to talk to him.
Yeah.
But Blue Code Space, Infinity Bass.
The grid book.
Yep, co-founder of the Grid Book, percussion, really great guy.
Yes.
And I think is somebody that is more comfortable working behind the scenes so that like his kids can shine.
Yes.
And creating opportunities for others, but has been a really positive and effective contributor to this activity for a number of years.
And not only did he and I bond over like bass stuff, but but when he came back for finals week, we bonded over both of our love for WWF
there you go.
wrestling, the Attitude Era. Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah.
So you had mentioned a moment that was kind of difficult for you, where you and Suvin talked.
Yeah.
Was that because even before that you had talked about high anxiety moments and stuff like that? Was there anything else that was like really big as far as anxiety or?
No, the thing with my feet, more than and I tried my best not to. I try not to complain or anything, because I don't want to be that guy. And there was really nothing to complain about because that's on my end. But
when you're out there and you're in the bubble, and you literally have this thing, right? Like a physical thing that makes it uncomfortable, that every step you take, or if you have to go run and like and do all of that stuff, it's very easy to let that hold you back, you know, because it's impacting everything, everything that you're doing. So it's important to take care of yourself when you're
For
out
sure,
there, and be properly prepared.
And I mean, let's face it, I'm a big dude, you know, but I would still try to go out there and run around the best that I could.
Yeah.
I guzzle down a whole bunch of water, you know, and that's the key to stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
And what's cool is, you know, the members, they make sure that they have plenty of water breaks and stuff like that.
How was the food?
Dude, good, man. It's funny you say that. You know, when we're there, we stayed at Wesleyan University in Indiana, and we ate at the cafeteria there. And then even when we got on the road, it's like we get like Olive Garden, you know, and it's like, wow, is this drum corps? You know,
Right.
But it had to be individual boxed meals.
Sure.
So, but it was cool, man. I loved it. Like I said, I love the organization, and I love being part of the Blue Bangers, you know, 2021. Yeah, for sure.
Well, here's what I'll say. Well, no, were we going to say something else?
No, go ahead, and then I'll add on to that, because I have something completely opposite I was going to ask you.
So this is what I'll say is I think everybody saw the result, right? Like footage throughout, you know, whether they saw it live or whether they saw it online. What a great ensemble.
Yeah.
Right. But what I loved is I went out there,
Yes.
you know, to Indy, and I got to go to, you know, Blue Coats rehearsal one day. And I could tell that, you know, you had a real positive impact on them. You know,
I hope so. Thanks, man. Thanks for saying that.
I mean, seriously, with in the way that I could see the way they were with you, right? The way the other staff members were with you. It wasn't like there was any kind of like weird tension, like Rob didn't do his job or we didn't like having him here. It was in fact very much the opposite.
Yeah.
It was like the Rob bass effect could be felt, right? Like your presence and what you brought.
Dude, if you're trying to get me to cry, man, you totally will.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry talking about it.
Yeah.
But I can just tell you that in seeing that, you know, like you in the wild, like in your element, and the way all of that was happening, I can tell that it was a good experience, not just for you, but for them.
Yeah.
Also.
I loved every minute of it. And dude, everybody was so welcoming, from not just the drum staff, but the brass staff, the Vish staff, the guard staff, all the members, the whole drum line. Everybody was super cool, you know, and I appreciate that more than anything. I can't give enough thanks, you know.
Yeah. And our hope is that that is not an anomaly, that is an experience that a lot of people have at various corps, but it's not something to take for granted.
Yeah.
Because we know that it can get difficult, right? You know, trying to put together a drum corps, it can get difficult for a number of different reasons.
Yeah.
It could be for personalities, it could be for struggles, it could be because of money, it could be because of equipment, it could be because trucks break down.
There's always
marching VK. We know all the things that can make it difficult.
Yeah, and this year was no different. There was always some type of X factor that the unknown, X being the unknown, that would, whether it be a tire blowout or, you know, the food truck stop working, you know, the stop not working, you know, little things like that.
Yeah.
So, but it was cool. You know, you talk about footage. I gotta show you guys this real quick. You know, I didn't think I took a lot of video, but when I got home, it's like I took a lot of video.
Yeah.
But I would walk around with, and this is my little camera that I got. This is the DJI Osmo Pocket 2, and you could, I don't know if you could see how this thing is. It's pretty small, and it already kind of got tweaked in Allentown because I dropped it.
Nice.
I ticked, but this little camera, you know, it's this little gimbal camera, and dude, I would just carry this in my pocket and run around, and if I saw something cool, I would just try to take video.
Yeah.
Or if I'm in the lot, I'd be like, dude, I'm not going to take video today. And then they'd start warming. I was like, dude, I got to take video. So then I would just start.
It's almost like
shooting video.
It's almost like a reflex.
Yeah.
You're like, well, they're playing. I have to, you know, I have to capture this.
And it's like the whole thing, and I've said this before, it's like, I want the members and anybody who I take video of, I want there to be videos, because when in our era, there's hardly any videos, and I want them to have, you know, record of all them.
Absolutely.
Them out there doing their stuff. Plus, it's just cool, man. I mean, who doesn't like drumming?
Were you going to say something before where you were saying you were going to take it in another direction?
Dude, yes. I wanted to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Blue Coat, we had our lot warm up.
Yep.
And in that lot warm up, there was Ram 95, written by Roger Carter and Sean Vega, played, I shouldn't say debuted, but played by the Blue Devils drumline at some point in 1995, which you were in.
Yep.
When you heard the Blue Coats drumline play that, did you trip out? Because I don't think you guys ever played that full line.
We never played it full line. We played it a lot as a snare line. Like it was one of the things that,
Like a snare hype?
because Blue Devils had been known for, every couple of years putting together a Ram.
Well, there was Ram 88,
Ram 88,
Ram 90, and then
North Texas had a Ram.
NT Ram.
And then in my area, like Ram 95 was really like the Ram to come out of that era. It was a massive. I got a real kick out of that.
Yeah.
And
we talked about Vega earlier. I wonder if he got to hear it and if he, got a kick out of that also. Yeah.
And what I loved is, and something that I asked Roger about was, so how did the kids like receive like playing these beats from way back then? And he was like, they loved it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
they
totally.
really, they hyped on it. Which, made my heart feel good because you can very easily get this sense of like, I don't know, like you're not relevant anymore, or like your era is
dated.
It's really dated. Something that I don't even think was intentional, but a couple of different lines did. Boston bringing back Red's Rumba,
yeah.
And
Star of Indiana, 1993.
Yeah. And playing some of Murray's exercises like Spanx, and then Mandarins playing Martian Mambo.
Dude, that was cool. And then they did didn't they do like Cheesy Poos or something like that?
Yeah,
it was like
they did
a
like
compilation.
A medley.
Yeah.
Paying respect to Murray, who's has had a massive impact, influence on the activity.
And we're talking Murray Gussick, that if people don't know,
But the idea that three of the top lines in the activity were taking, as part of their normal warm-up routine, were taking time to celebrate, our era, was just amazing. Like it's just like a little bit of like a cherry on top.
Dude, and I'll be honest with you, that second camp, I'd heard him play the first camp and then the second camp. At the end, when everybody was off and it was just me and Roger kind of chit-chatting, I'm like, dude, please tell me they're going to play Ram 95 full line in the lot. And he's like, dude, that's the plan. I'm like, yes. Because people don't realize it's so many notes. It's like, and to be able to pull that off full line is crazy.
Yeah.
I know he beefed up the bass parts for that, but dude, to me, that I just loved hearing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was
really cool.
I was happy when I could, tell you, be like, dude, they're playing Ram 95 full line.
I know when you told me that, I was like, what?
Yeah. And then to actually have video, I think before I even put it out on YouTube, I'm like, dude, George, look.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we go in the season, then we hit the road. Back to after our segue. So we after the spring training part, or the little bit of time they had put into the show together, we hit the road. I jump in the Shire, we get on the bus, and we're off. And the first things they did was in Canton. There was a standstill performance. Well, before we left the university, there was a dress rehearsal performance for the local crowd.
Right.
And like the stands were packed, and this is just like the local, not like non-drum corps people crowd.
Yeah.
That came and watched, and that was cool. And we hit the road, and the standstill performance in Canton. Then they did a standstill performance at this cool winery there, and it's it's called the Gervasi Winery.
Right.
They're outside of Canton. And it's actually owned by one of the former directors of the Blue Coats.
Oh, wow.
Ted Swaldo, yeah. And this place, if you're ever in that area, if anybody's listening is from that Midwest area and you're looking for like a cool little getaway, dude, go to that Gervasi Winery. The food was excellent, And I'm a drinking age, so I had some wine, and the wine was excellent. And I'm not a wine drinker, but yeah, it was cool. Definitely a cool experience. And then from there we hit the road, and it was off to Massachusetts. The first slot there in Quincy, Mass. That was interesting because, you know, coming back from the pandemic, you didn't know what to expect.
Right, first show.
They put this, you know, nobody watching warm-ups or anything, and it was pretty much like nobody watching the warm-ups.
Oh, wow.
It was like us, one of the guys from Flow Marching was there, Jason, cool guy. You know, I talk to him every time I see him, you know, real nice guy. We're friends on Facebook.
Hopefully they don't copyright strike this video.
Yeah, that's a whole other story. But yeah, so it's us, the Flow Marching guy, and that's about it. And maybe one or two other people are there. Mm-hmm. So we had the shows in Massachusetts, and those are cool. You know, it was cool.
So when that happened, were you like, ooh, is this what it's going to be like?
You know, yeah, it's like the big unknown. You know, is it going to be like this the whole way out? But then as each show went on, we kind of picked up people. But that first show, we warmed up in some grass, and the second show, we warmed up in some other tall grass, and my legs just got eaten up by mosquitoes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That East Coast wildlife.
Yeah. And then the third show, so it was like Quincy, Mass, and then I want to say the second and third show were both at the same place in Lawrence, Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. So that first time in Lawrence, it was like the tall grass, and I got just eaten up by the Midwest, the New England mosquitoes. And then the third show, we found like this different zone. And then right when we set up, the Boston equipment truck pulls like right in front of us.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, okay, well, we didn't move, we just warmed up. But the Boston guys from a distance listened to us warm, and it was cool, you know. Mm-hmm. So after Massachusetts, we go to Allentown, we rehearse, and you know it's Allentown, you know.
Yeah.
J. Bernie Crum Stadium.
Yeah.
You know, iconic.
The smell of funnel cake.
The ramp. You know, we get there, we go to the zone there that's by the lake, and we actually have a crowd, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah, the Allentown crowd.
Mm-hmm. You got to see some people. You got to see Roger Ladd.
Roger Ladd, yeah, and Roger Ladd is someone I marched with at the Velvet Nights back. And
I marched with the Blue Devils.
Yeah, he marched the '94 Blue Devil Snare Line. So I hadn't seen him in 25 plus years. Mm-hmm. And it was great seeing him. In fact, he gave me a cassette from '93 that his stepdad had recorded that has warm-ups from back then that I got to digitize. And I on the cassette, it even says '93 Blue Devils.
There you go.
So, you know, there you go.
I hope it was clean.
It's early season, so we shall see.
We'll see.
Yeah. But, so, you know, Allentown, and then we go back to the Midwest, to Ohio, had the Akron show, which is cool, and then go to Indy, you know, and that Indy week was fun, man. I mean, the quarterfinals, it rained, so we had to warm up inside. So before we get into talking about Indy, do you have anything else you want to ask? Or?
Well, you were not the only new face.
No,
on the Blue Code staff.
Yeah,
you got to spend some time with, or Roger brought his good friend Rudy Garcia.
Yes.
Over, and we've heard, you know, on a previous episode, Scott Johnson talking about Rudy and his skills.
Dude, Rudy's like the X Factor, man. That guy is incredible.
Yeah. So tell me what it was like, you know, teaching with him.
So when I got there, like the battery staff, you know, you had Roger, and then Connor working the snares, Connor Yasuda, and then Suvin Verhees was there doing the quads when I got there, and then Rudy Garcia, you know, who has most notably worked like with the Blue Devils for
a long time.
Yeah, I want to say since '09, and
defied the odds.
Yeah, and then before that he worked with Crown and Crossman, and he marched Blue Devils like '97 through '02.
Right. He marched with Sean, and he was in the generation after I marched.
Yeah,
after Roger and I marched.
So yeah, man. I mean, Rudy's like incredible. The way his mind works, the way he communicates with the members, and with the rest of the staff is just on top of it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And he is an asset that, dude, any corps would be, should have somebody like Rudy, man. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, and luckily, you know, in talking to Roger about it, given that, you know, like the people that he would normally have filling that position weren't available, having somebody like Rudy available was amazing.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's like you swing and you hit a home run like that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, yeah, and so there was that. And before we get to Indy too, I do got to say, when we were back east, we spent a lot of time with like Spirit of Atlanta, Music City Drum Corps, Boston, and then the Cadets. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see a lot of stuff, but I did get to see like the Cadets from the stands in Allentown, and I think I posted video of that. I got to see Boston a couple times here and there from up in the stands, and dude, that was a cool show, man. They had a lot going on. Yeah, dude, that drum line smoking.
Absolutely.
Yeah, both of those drum lines are smoking. I wish I could have had a chance to see Spirit and Music City though, because it's just on staff. You just don't have that time to go watch like how you usually do as a fan.
Right.
Yeah.